The world can be a cold, scary place. That's why I'm wearing a sweater. Some people are afraid of drowning, some people are afraid of falling asleep and never waking up, but today, we're talking about something far beyond our understanding that is equally scary, and that's dating. More specifically, speed dating for Ghosts, a video game that I played on Nintendo Switch.
But it still has some parallels to real dating, so it's actually still kind of scary though.
Yeah, man, dating sucks. It is the worst, and it has the smallest chance of it being the absolute best thing ever. Putting yourself out there and trying to connect with people and what they're into and showing them what you're into and hoping that by some stroke of luck, by matching on a dating app and talking over text,
Where these three dots are the scariest thing imaginable.
transitions into an actual date, and it's not any different and things go great. Only to find out that there wasn't any connection, and you do that over and over until you die. AKA, this is where I self-report as a complete fucking weirdo.
Goofy off.
As usual, this video is going to be divided into parts, talking about the good stuff and the bad stuff, not only in speed dating for Ghosts, but also our own experiences. So I'll see you guys later. For authenticity, I'm gonna go die and become a ghost now. Okay, I'm dead. You can click off the video now. Well, it turns out Zach Baggins... How do you say this fucking guy's name again?
My name is Zach Bagans.
Oh, okay.
I
thank
never
you.
believed.
It turns out all that screaming in empty hotel rooms done by Zach Bagans paid off, because ghosts are fucking real, dog.
Shaded, you.
And when you re-enter the dating world, you sort of feel like a ghost yourself, drifting from one conversation to the next, behind a lot of white backdrops. You feel like you can go anywhere, but you also feel stuck in one place. In the beginning of speed dating for Ghosts, you're introduced to how the concept works. You talk to some ghosts, the bell rings, and you talk to some more ghosts. When I started, I accidentally said I didn't want to do it, and it unlocked this sequence where I drove my shitty ghost car back to my shitty ghost apartment, made some shitty ghost ramen, and just sat there and ate it in miserable silence. Now, I triggered this completely on accident because I was high on life and nothing else. I'm a DARE graduate, and I was having a little bit of trouble figuring out which option was the one I was selecting. It's not the white one, it's the gray one. But this is very much a necessary truth to learn. Dating has a lot of false starts, and sometimes there are days, dating or not, that are lonely and sad, and applying this logic to the afterlife makes it feel like none of this shit is worth it. You don't even get to cease to exist. You just are alone and sad again. Some days it's not even worth talking to someone or meeting someone. Some days we just go home from work and eat just to stay alive. But when you're a ghost, what do you do? Eating doesn't do anything. Sleep doesn't do anything. What else is there? Is the afterlife and the surface world really just as meaningless when you're dead? I mean, what do we have left to do but feel, you know? I mean, maybe we could spend some time with some other ghosts, maybe get some insights on dying and past life experiences, learn some stuff about them, they learn some stuff about us. I mean, that's the best part about this, right? Is like us figuring stuff out about each other. I mean, I'm actually getting a little excited now. Maybe we could like trauma bond or something, you know what I mean? All right, you know what? Fuck this shit. Fuck loneliness. Fuck sadness, fuck sitting around feeling sorry for ourselves. We're gonna do it. We're gonna go back out there and we're gonna fucking go on some dates. And it's gonna be hopefully great. I don't know, but there's only one way to find out. We're going back. A lot of people refer to the threshold past matching with someone as the talking phase. Now, you know this thing where you go, hey, what's up? Do you like this show? Oh, wow. Yeah, I love that show. Do you like this album? What do you think about this album? Oh, wow. Yeah, I love that album. That's really cool. Wow, that's great. I love that, but I really gotta go and like never speak to you again. Okay, bye.
What the fuck?
But as someone with a lot of anxiety, to me, it just feels like an interview, because all I can think to do is ask questions. It's kind of like Billy on the street, but instead of $1, all I have to offer is this? I don't know. That's really mean. Alright, so you head back to Fran, the ghost running the show, and she's like, I knew you'd bring that tight little ass back here. And she offers you 3 different rooms that all have different ghosts in them. You meet 9 different ghosts that all look different and talk different and are exactly that, like, ghosts. Like, I know it's in the name, right? But they didn't make, like, all humanoid designs. They're just like these genderless spirits, and that's so cool. It also felt like a deliberate decision to make this game play out mostly through text and a couple different expressions for each ghost, so you can really focus on the conversations and the gravity of your actions later. The first go around of meeting all the ghosts is awkward and quiet with a lot of staring and the most relatable shit I've ever experienced in a video game, because that's what all of this shit is, right? It's just trying to find out what to say or ask and crossing your fingers that you don't come off like a complete psychopath. But when you have that moment where the vibes are off, the ghosts will say it right on their face, like real people. Now's as good a time as any to meet our single specters. Drea has like this octopus hair that's cool, they seem kind of punky, they hate yuppie lamos, and they make a lot of jokes about dying. Wow, marry me. Hattie takes the form of cotton balls. Cute. But all they talk about is being a wife who should tend to their partner because that's the right thing to do. Okay, boomer.
Gary's terrifying, but not actually terrifying at all. He's actually one of the best ghosts. He's a nice guy once you get to know him. Gary, please stop!
Keo is an anxious little guy who just recently died and doesn't know how to cope with being dead. Damn bro, same, except I'm alive, this shit sucks. Spooky Peter I do not like at all. I hate Spooky Peter. They like scaring people and have a shitty top hat, but they also like work with like Satan or something. They take themselves very seriously, but I've never been scared of an entity in a top hat. Fuck you, Spooky Peter. All my homies hate Spooky Peter. Leon spent his past life as a criminal and propositions you to rob a bank with him. It's one hell of a pitch for a first date. Also, I like his little smile. Riley was a football star in his past life and died from playing football and is now a fuckboy ghost. Wow! Who cares? Vera is actually one of my favorites. They're like this famous Las Vegas ghost that ghost hunters call the Lady in Smoke, and she just shows up as a huge plume of smoke and fucks with rich people. That's so fucking cool and way cooler than Spooky Peter. Fuck you, Spooky Peter. All my homies hate Spooky Peter. And Stephanie is a ghost that doesn't know they're a ghost and is struggling with that, and it's very sad and interesting. There's some other crazy characters we'll talk about later, but for now, it's these 9 in these 3 rooms. As time, or whatever you want to call it, progresses, the questions get deeper and you start to realize who you like more than others, you learn what kind of ghost things these ghosts care about, and the conversations start to feel more real. Yo, this shit had me staring at my ceiling trying to figure out who I am and like what I even want. Like me, not in the game me, like the real me. And maybe it's because I was high on life and nothing else from being a DARE graduate that I started to really see myself in a lot of these ghosts. The apprehension, the apathy, the want to just connect with another entity, the personalities all felt like real. You wouldn't expect someone like Leon to talk about the importance of honesty, but just like real people, these ghosts, they surprise you. All of them propose some kind of date. Some of them use that term more loosely. You'll see what I mean. Okay, let's dating show the fuck out of this right now. After meeting all the ghosts, I decided to go on dates with my favorite one that I met in each room, and then I'm gonna go down the list of the ones I like most to least after that. That feels fair, right? After going to the room of black, I went with Drea. Something about their octopus hair and their death jokes and overall vibe makes me feel like they're cooler than me, and I like that. Also, they're really funny, and you can tell they're smart. In the room of liars, I went with Keo. I mean, my other 2 options are Leon and Spooky Peter. And Keo is like this little anxious ball of nerves I just want to hug. I mean, being dead's new to me too, and I'm anxious about everything all the time. I definitely resonate with that. And you can tell Keo's like a little nerdy and maybe a little jaded from dating other ghosts, so maybe this will be a breath of fresh air. And in the room of palms, I chose our Lady in Smoke, Vera. She's so full of mystery and she probably has the best stories out of anybody. Also, she keeps calling me Sunshine and I love that. And I also want to hear about the dark past that she keeps alluding to. What happened, girl? We'll be talking about some of these other freaks too, but for now, it's time to go on some dates. I'm so excited. I really have a type, don't I? Dates are kind of weird, right? Or at least they kind of feel that way as you get older. Once you decide you even want to meet somebody, this panic sets in, and then you're thinking, what do you even do? Is something like dinner too boring? Should I meet closer to them? Should I meet closer to me? Do I look at their local calendar? Do I look at my local calendar? I don't even own a calendar. Should I download a Google Calendar? Should we find a halfway point somewhere? What do I wear? Who am I? Am I going to die soon? Luckily in a video game, I don't have to make those decisions. And these ghosts have stuff planned for us. When I met up with Drea, she told me we were going to go haunt the normies that moved into the house she lived in before she died. And already, I'm like, hell yeah. Drea not only is fed up with her old home being turned into a milquetoast mansion, but also the fact that the whole neighborhood has changed, and the new people have cleaners they barely pay that they also yell at when they don't clean to their standards. If that don't feel real, hi, I'm Neil.
This is Neil.
We spent the day fucking with their stupid live, laugh, love sign in their living room. Like, not even just like a home goods sign, like decals on the wall. And we also fucked with a stupid butler statue in their bedroom. It's the most cornball shit I've ever heard in my life. Another great attention to detail, because this is a text-based game, is they make sure to use different fonts to really paint the picture. Like, this fucking home goods font really made me wish I were more dead than I actually was, and the fact that it was used for the wife's dialogue was a perfect touch. So they freak out, and the wife demands of her husband Tanner, of course he's named fucking Tanner, that they move away! Like, as insane of a precedent as this is for a date, it's absolutely perfect for ghosts, and IRL, it would be one I would remember forever, and I'd be texting Drea that night. This is the kind of butterflies a great date can give you. Just doing something fun and wacky and maybe out of your comfort zone, but being open enough to let it happen with someone you already vibe with. Drea asked for my input on what rooms to mess around with, and the message the live, laugh, love sign should spell. Don't we want to just show people our stuff and they show us their stuff and it all blends together in a hopefully positive way? Man, this is a good fucking game. I'm about to cry and shit. I knew I wanted to go on a date with Keo because we clicked immediately. The anxiety, the love for dead media, the fact that he's a little nerd. I knew I loved this little ghoul. He showed up wearing headphones not plugged into anything, and I thought that was really funny. We headed into the woods to talk a little bit more. They told me they make greeting cards for ghosts to give to other ghosts, and that they like this area because it's quiet and they can relax and think and be honest with their emotions. They go on to say it's okay to be sad sometimes, and I think about that line as I'm saying it and reading it in the script here. It still rings in my head. We explore all these different areas that hold meaning to them. A frozen lake, this clearing, an old house, and the date ends at the end of that frozen lake. Keo explains that they only go this far anymore, and that's fine. Everything's fine. I really welcome someone being able to be that vulnerable with me, because even if you never see that person again, you learn something about them. And that's like the best part of dating, meeting someone new and being able to be open and honest with them. That's something really important to me. My third date was with Vera, the famous ghost known as the Lady in Smoke. The date starts normal. We're trying to figure out where we want to go, and Vera starts hearing a voice in her head that sounds like her own, but further away. The voice is calling out to Vera, who finds out it's their daughter, and I had the option to leave or go with her. So we went to go find her together. See, back in the Room of Palms, Vera talked about how she lived in Vegas as a single mom and worked for, I guess, like a mafia boss who ran a casino when she was alive. It's kind of vague, I don't know. If you want to play the game, I won't spoil what actually happened, but to make a long story short, their ties to bad people led to their untimely demise in the form of those bad people setting her house on fire and her dying inside due to smoke inhalation, where she got her namesake. Remember that. Alright, so we run around town trying to find this voice, and we land at a building offering psychic readings in big, obnoxious neon yellow letters that I love so much. We find out it is indeed Vera's daughter Jane, now in her twilight years, just wondering what happened to her mom. What really happened when she dropped her daughter off and never came back to get her. Vera asked me to say something, and I told them what happened. I told them what really happened. Vera felt bad about leaving her, for better or worse, and her daughter felt relief knowing what really happened. The date ends with Vera and Jane sitting next to each other, missing each other. Alone, but together. Now, Okay, I know not every date is going to play out to be this serendipitous and movie-like, but I wouldn't be opposed to an experience like this. I'm not by any means qualified to, like, help someone through their traumas, but if I could help someone find closure in something, date or not, I would at least try. Even if the date doesn't end up in a connection, you could both walk away different people for the better, and that's still a W.
That's a W, bro. Bro's a menace to society.
Maybe that gives you the skill set needed to go on a date with Gary. Once again, nice guy. Look, they wore a bow tie. Oh, that's sweet. They killed their partner at their accounting firm, though. Yeesh, that's dicey. The whole thing is a little complicated, though. Then you go on a date with Steph, who's coping with being a ghost and learning what they can do and can't do now that they're dead, and they take their mask off and are comfortable with their ghost form now. Oh, that's nice. Then you got all these numbers in your phone. Do you text them? How many times? Go on another date? Do they even like you enough to do that? Oh, look, it's Leon. Time to rob the bank. Oh, man, Spooky Peter's here. Get the fuck out of here, Spooky Peter. God, when does it stop? Dating, while fun, can also be extremely stressful. Talking to people, going out and doing things, deciding whether or not you want to do it again, you rejecting them rejecting you, it's Asstown 9000 sometimes. After going on 9 dates with 9 potential poltergeists, I still haven't found the one. But that's okay, because we spent God knows how long explaining that wasn't entirely the point anyway, and Fran agrees, and she's a scientist, or at least she was before she died, and now she's a ghost scientist. I mean, we're all just trying to find something missing in our lives, for lack of a better term in this case, eternity, I guess? Something better in our deaths? I don't know. Leave a comment if you know a better way to say that. Also, like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell to instantly become a Thick King. It's so easy. Fran gave us this brochure to visit hell because apparently it's nice this time of year. I mean, what else are you gonna do when you're dead? Not like you could visit it when you were alive, right? You hear all this talk about hell and how you're tortured for all eternity and damnation and blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? Apparently, it's just a hot beach where people party and there's no night and day and the sky is always red. That's what the travel agent told me, and travel agents never lie. And then we hear a familiar sound we've heard countless times before at this point. That old bell ringing. But this time we're talking to a demon? Wait, this is actually kind of cool. Wait, and they like to party? Oh, hell yeah, brother. This is my fucking guy right here. This is the kind of entity that you want to spend your vacation with. One of my favorite things to do when going to a new place is meeting new people and seeing what they got going on. Andy is a party demon with a compulsive need to party, and it seems like it's making him fade away or something. That's weird. The more intensely Andy parties, it's not making his condition better. He's still fading away. I mean, the game said he's fine, so who cares? We all die anyway, and really we're already dead at this point, so like... This next ghost is probably the most important one. Agatha. Agatha is a vampire ghost, and honestly a ghost in its most literal meaning. They talk about drifting from place to place, losing oneself after dying, loss in general, the need for purpose, the inevitable truth that one day we all pass on into nothing, all explained beautifully and tragically in words that can only exist far away from Fran's original speed dating experiment. I didn't try to change the subject. I didn't try to change Agatha's mind. I just listened as she told me about how an old jilted lover killed her in her sleep and how she feels she deserves a broken heart and a lifetime of loneliness. Through listening, we break new ground. For a moment, they talk about me and make the comment that I seem harmless. After a lot of thinking and staring at the ceiling again, I can only reply with I'm complicated, because we all are, right? Agatha goes on to say that they gave their life to their husband by letting him turn them into a vampire under the promise to live and be young and in love forever. But dreams are dreams, and eternity is a long time, as they said, and ultimately they parted ways. The guy leaves her for someone else that he finds attractive. What a fucking manipulative piece of shit. They never wanted to live forever, and now they're just stuck with that curse. Our conversation ends how it began, dramatic and mysterious.
Should you wish to know me better, you need only look where crimson meets black.
God, she's so fucking cool. So here we are again, picking a date. Okay, Agatha, obviously. I need to know more about her. I can fix her, guys. I found Agatha by the water, surprised I chose her. As she opens up, she's actually kind of funny. She even makes a joke. But that dissipates as she talks about the stake in her heart, referring back to the burden she chose to spend eternity with. The stake is a constant reminder of her past, the life she chose, the mistakes she made. But this is where things get a little fucky. The stake also slows time down, and time speeds back up when she removes it, but she quickly puts it back in and suggests we go swimming. She starts holding my hand. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And we decide to go for a swim in some blood red water. I dive deeper, not being able to see 2 feet in front of me, just pushing forward until we find each other again. When we resurface and make it back to the beach, Agatha's stake has been removed. She lost it in the blood red water and doesn't feel complete without it, for the moment. But when she first came out of the water, she was content for a split second, and she seemed calmer. The stake is a representation of Agatha's past trauma that literally makes her so sad that it physically slows time down so she feels those emotions even more intensely. That literally sounds like a My Chemical Romance song. She also kind of looks like a My Chemical Romance song, if we're being honest. So she's freaking out now, but she'll learn over time that she doesn't need to live with that pain from her past forever. Sure enough, the stake washes up on shore, by some hellish miracle, as they say. But Agatha doesn't come back for it, and I don't call out to her and tell her I have it. And sometimes, that's reality. You meet really cool people that you want to explore something with, but maybe there's no connection there, and what lies out there for that person is far more important and meaningful than a fleeting crush, and who are we to deny someone of that? Now, I know that was like really long and really drawn out, but it's necessary for our next date with Andy, our party demon with the screaming semen. Andy is still not doing good. He's fading fast, like literally, and I'm trying to help him remember how he dealt with this before. He talks about his college days, and it just keeps getting worse. He's frantically putting on more party stuff, and it keeps getting worse. He takes party stuff off, and it keeps getting worse. But because I took Agatha's stake earlier, I get the option to jam it into Andy. So I do. And he's fine. The stake slows time down. It slows Andy down. Andy has been partying for 1,000 years. Drinking excessively, doing cool party tricks, being the life of the party, and existing as fast as possible. But it literally drove him to a point of almost just fading out of existence entirely. The stake allowed him to slow down everything, including his mind. All of a sudden, he has hopes and dreams and the will to learn new things and become a different person, a version of himself he feels happy with. And he just runs off to learn about the new Andy and carve a path for himself. Even the game is fucking confused, but this is truly the best ending. Somewhere between moving at a snail's pace with your harrowing past and breakneck speed ignoring everything on a self-destructive 1,000-year bender, there's balance to be found. There's peace in learning about who you are and what you can be when you let those destructive vices go. Alright, let's wrap this up before I become tears. Dating ends how it begins, usually. Staring at your phone, wondering how a date went, and how the other person feels about you. But just because you don't have a romantic connection with someone doesn't mean you can't just meet a cool person and be friends with them. I've met a ton of cool people on dating apps, and I've had great experiences with plenty of people. And even if nothing comes from that, I still had a good experience. And that's still a positive. Getting tangled up and insisting on things being a certain way or having a certain outcome will drive you crazy and only set you up to be sad later. You can replay your dates in speed dating for ghosts, but I wouldn't dream of it. Because for better or worse, dates or no dates, they happened and they can't be changed. And I wouldn't have it any other way. In-game or IRL. Also, speed dating for ghosts gets our first hell yeah on the channel, a full hell yeah. Thank you so much for watching my other dumb stuff. Bye.